right? She stuck her little narrow fingers in my hand. So I totally didn't get copyrighted. Well, I did, and I'm totally not mad at all. But I didn't think that the beat was gonna get that much attention, because honestly, it's just a beat. But it's whatever. So until I found my own tune, you'll just have to hear this, okay? What's up, Butter Biscuits? It's your girl, S Butter. Good morning. I literally just woke up. I slept in this scarf. I probably should have pinned it down like how I had it yesterday, but I did not feel like doing that. So, like, my bangs are still in the air. I didn't shingle them yet, so they're just up. It is currently 10 something in the a.m. It is 10 o'clock in the morning. If even, I think when I woke up, it was 9. So it should be like almost 10 something. But this video is crooked. I wanted to give you guys I wanted to make sure I gave you guys the story time mukbang spice up story. Like, welcome to the series called Spice Up Your Story. It's where you tell a story. It could be a boring one, it could be a fun one, but you have to eat something spicy or drink something spicy or do something spicy while telling the story. So I'm gonna take my glasses off because there's so much glare. I'm actually gonna put them back on, but hold on, let me see, because I can't see. All right. So basically, you have to eat something spicy, do something spicy. So today I'm gonna be doing the 2-time spicy noodles. Like, I had these noodles twice since I went to H Mart and bought them. And the second time I was able to eat them. I usually eat it with rice cakes, like the Korean rice cakes. I don't think I'm putting the rice cakes in them today because I'm eating a different form of the rice cakes, which is the originated form that you're supposed to eat it with, the actual like bean paste. So today I'm doing the spicy noodle ramen, and I'm doing this. Hold on. I'm doing this thing that I can't open. I'm doing this little thing of rice cakes. It's like, you see it. Like, that's the original, like, really spicy. Like, this is what the rice cakes look like. The rice cakes look like this. They're these cute little, like, mine are bigger. Like, mine were made from a bigger rice cake, so it's like more like a log, and then mine are chopped. But these are like the little tubes. These are actually harder to eat than the sliced up ones because they're very chewy, and they're meant to eat spicy, so it's like chewy spice. It's kind of dangerous. I have something in here that says do not eat, so I'm guessing it's just for freshness of these. But they gave me a cute little fork that I'm gonna use, and ooh, the powder. So I'm gonna go right now, and I'm not gonna take you guys with me, but I'm going to cook both of these and then I'll be back. So see you in a minute. I just would like to say that the directions on here are all in the native language, and I have no clue how to cook these, so I'm still gonna get it done. Let's just go Google it. So I've decided, since I don't even know what to Google because I don't even know what the name is, I'm just gonna do it like how I cook regular noodles. I'm just gonna throw it in there for like 4 minutes in some hot water and just see what happens. And If it works, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's equally fine. I'll just heat up some rice cakes real quick and use those. I just had a major deja vu just now. But anyway, I'm off to cook. I'll see you guys when I see ya. Okay, so the rice cakes are done. That microwave method actually did work. I left a little water in there because I was not sure if I should or shouldn't. Because this feels like it's a powder. So I feel like it needs a little bit of water to weaken it. I'm not going to put all the powder in there. I'm just letting you know now. I'm going to wuss out early. And I'm also not going to put all the sauce in there because, like I said, there's nothing on my stomach besides these things. So yeah. And also, I just opened a whole bunch of packages. So I'm just letting you guys know I have to do a haul after this video. So if you see me in the same tank top and blue jeans, I'm doing a haul. I don't know if I'm going to do an all-together haul or a separated haul of the two places in which I received clothes. So you'll see that. But let me mix this and then I'll go get the noodles. Oh, this looks like it is going to suck. Can I taste it? Oh, girl, bless yourself. It tastes good. Like, it literally just tastes like seasoned salt. If you ask me. My family is texting in the group chat. Oh, I'm gonna have to add the whole bag. They finessed. Look at that. Ooh! Oh, I'm so sorry, table. I made a mess. But I am ready, guys. I got a whole jug of milk. But let's get into the story time. So let's start. Okay, guys. So I just have to add the spice to my noodles. The stories we will be telling today is how I got this scar. Story of that hot summer day in like the 6th grade. I got permission to use the names, well, the name that I'll be using. She also has a YouTube channel, or her boyfriend, so I might put her video in her link in the description. I have not decided yet, but anyway, it was when I was like in the 6th grade. I lived in New Brunswick. So let's I'm gonna take a bite of one of these and then start to tell the story. Oh no, let me start to tell the story first, just so you understand. Okay, so I lived in New Brunswick when, like, from 2nd grade to 7th, the 2nd time. Okay, so we were going to the summer camp, and it was my first year going. And, ooh, really good. We were, about to leave camp that day. Crab was a camp where, like, they took us swimming, they took us somewhere everywhere. And I went to the bathroom while everyone was waiting for the bus. And when I came back, there was 2 doors. I went to use the 2nd door that's closest to the bathroom, so I could sit exactly where, like, my bus, where my bus people, right? And everything was fine. Everything was okay. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, it's time to go inside. Like, I'm still standing outside the door, like I'm walking to the door. I'm like, alright, I'm about to just go sit with my friends and just, you know, relax a little and wait for the bus. My friends and my sisters, because I went to camp with my sisters. My friend on the other side of the door, Journey, decided to push the door back. And she thought it was funny, and everyone sitting by her thought it was funny. And so we're pushing the door. We're like, we went to camp in this church. So you know how they have, like, their doors have the section glasses, right? So my hand's on the glass window, and she's pushing with her feet. So I'm pushing with my hands, she's pushing with her feet. So she's still sitting. And all of a sudden, I pushed back at the same time she kicked, and kaboosh, my hand went straight through the window. I literally, it was so crazy because I'm standing there with a I'm sitting there with a hole in my hand, and I'm looking at the hole, and I'm just like, there's a hole in my hand. Like, I'm looking at the inside of my hand. Like, it was crazy. I wish I had pictures. And then next thing you know, I was like, well, all the advisors heard the window break, so they came. This is hot. They came and they're like, what happened? What happened? What happened? And I saw one of the ladies, and I was like, Miss Rebecca, look. And I'm walking towards her, and right when I said look, all this blood just started. It started coming up like crazy. It was just going, right? Just making puddles. I had, let's just say, by the end of that day, I had 3 puddles of, like, just blood. What's the point? We had to keep moving locations. So, they're good, but they're hot. So, I'm standing there, and I'm like, okay, we could do it, right? We could do it. And they're like, Miss Rebecca's like, what happened? And then, like, everyone else surrounds me, and they're just all screaming, and someone's like, call 911. Someone's like, go get napkins. Someone's like, do this, do that. They had this one lady doing some of everything, and she was like, it was so funny because then she threw the napkins, because they were like, call 911. And she's like, I'm trying, but you asked me to get napkins. So, like, they're all freaking out. And she threw the napkins in the lady's face, and I, like, laughed. And then she started calling, so the cops came. And I'm like, first of all, I had way more cuts than I knew I had. Because I had 2 on my wrist and 1 on my hand. So I had no idea, like, that all that blood was coming from, like, 3 holes, not just 1. So they're holding my wrist, trying to, like, they're holding my wrist, like, here, trying to stop the blood. But right here where their hands were is where 2 more cuts are. The whole time, Melissa's just screaming, crying. Melissa's just standing there, like, looking. Excuse me. The whole camp is looking. The bus has arrived. And it's time for them to go get on the bus. And I'm sitting there. So everyone left when we got on the bus, except for me and my sister. And the whole time, they're like, since they're holding my wrist, these 2 holes are still bleeding. So it was still bleeding over my mom's gray postal hoodie. So my scrunchies and everything. And it was so bad. And then Cops come. I'm sitting down in the chair. Just so you guys know, I'm not drinking off of family milk. I'm drinking off of milk that I bought just for this purpose. So, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. They're like, are you dizzy? Are you lightheaded? And I'm like, no. I'm just thirsty. Can I get some water? Right? They're like, yeah. Somebody get her some water. No one ever comes back with the water. So they're like wrapping my hand, right? Like they asked the teachers to move and they were wrapping my hand. So I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, show some water, right? Thinking they're gonna give me some water. The kitchen's really, I'm looking in the kitchen so I could see that no one ever went in the kitchen. Everyone's too busy like trying to make sure I'm not gonna pass out or bleed out. So, and at this point, they didn't know about the other 2 cuts either. The people, because the hoodie I had on. No one knew until I was actually in the ambulance. That's when I found out. And even then, like, that's when they found out. And even then, I still didn't know until I got to the hospital. So, hold on. So, I'm there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay. So when am I water? So they asked me again. They're like, are you dizzy, lightheaded, anything? I'm like, no, I'm just thirsty. Can I get some water? Second time I asked. Still, to no avail. No one brings me water. So I'm like, okay. Maybe I'm just not going to get water. Right? So then they're like, okay, we're waiting for the ambulance to get here. I know they're waiting to radio in and stuff like that and make sure I was stable enough to be moved. So they go get the gurney. And I'm telling these people, like, because I know I'm a big girl. I was like, I know I'm heavy. Like, even in 6th grade, I'm like, I know I'm heavy. I'm at least, like, 180. Like, I'm 180. Like, come on. So they're like, we're going to put you on the gurney. They're like, you have to go on the gurney. I was like, no, I can walk. They were like, no. So I was like, okay, fine. You can pick me up and carry me like a royal queen. So I go on the gurney. They make sure I'm stable on there too. And then they carry me down this ramp. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting my workout in today. I was like, you just called a little girl fat. Do you realize that? Okay. Because I told you I could walk. I could have climbed to the ambulance myself. And you didn't listen. So my lips are burning off. They're burning off right now. So then I'm in the ambulance. And I'm just waiting. And, like, they call my mom. So, like, my sisters are in the van with the camp counselors following the ambulance to the hospital. My mom's going to meet us at the hospital. My mom, and that means my mom, my grandma, my grandpa. So, like, we're at the hospital, like, we're speeding. I could close speed. We're going. And the people, the ambulance workers, shout out to them, too. I don't even know their names. I wish I did because they were so nice to me and so funny. So, I'm with them. And they're like, we're going to have to uncover your hand. And I was like, no, you're not. They're like, yes, we are. Right? So, I'm like, okay. Do it. Right? She uncovers it. It hurts a little bit because, like, you know, the gauze is on here. So, it hurt. But the whole time I'm not crying because it doesn't physically hurt me as much. It doesn't hurt till later. I'll tell you. I will get to that part. So, this is really starting to kick in, and I is kicking my butt. I don't think I like this. I don't like this at all. So we're going, and we get into the hospital. And I ain't closing you up no more. So we get to the hospital, and it's time for me to get out the ambulance. And they're like, come on, we're gonna take you out, right? And one of the ladies goes, you're lucky it's Friday, because if it was any other day, we would have dropped you. It was so funny. That ambulance ride was so funny with them because they was arguing. It was so funny. I like watching the chaos around that day was so funny. So then I'm in the hospital, and they're like, we're gonna see you, put you in your bed, and then they were like, okay, see you around, like, you know, brought me there, and I was like, okay, no, bye. They're so funny, I love them. And then everybody else is in the hospital. And that's when life's a blur. And just to be honest, that's when the story gets blurry for 5 seconds. Because when I got to my room, my sisters and them were already there. Just my mom and my grandma wasn't there yet. And it was like, how'd you get to my room before me? But whatever. So I'm there, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're doing this, right? Everyone, the nurses are coming, asking me questions. Family asking me what happened. We told this lie to Miss Rebecca and my entire family. Me and Journey said that I was trying to get in the door, and like, cause the heat, the door swole. Like, cause I was trying to get into the door, but the door was stuck, right? Cause their church had that problem. And they were like, yeah, the door swole cause of the heat probably, right? And I'm like, yeah. Knowing what happened, knowing we were playing around, being bad people. And they were like, all right, here we go. It's done. So I was like, all right, well, that's that on that. So they told everybody, and that's what the nurses, that story I stuck to the nurses, to my grandma, to everybody that, right? Burning, I need ice, but I'm not gonna get it. No, that's too much wussiness. We're just gonna have the milk. Got it. My stomach's gonna hurt so bad. So here I am in this hospital bed. Family's now there. Everyone's there, and the 2 counselors are there. And it's like a line of chairs. So it's like my grandma, my grandpa, my mom, my sisters. Then I think her name was Miss Cecilia, and Miss Rebecca. 2 of them, everybody else, right? So I'm like, all right, like, let's do it, right? And ooh, so well, everyone's sitting in a straight line. I was like, okay, yeah, we're good. All of a sudden, I got super tired and like fell asleep. But before that, what happened was we got in the hospital room, and they're switching me from the gurney to the bed, and they're like, you gotta take your hoodie off. And I'm like, okay. They made me take off my hoodie, all my bracelets. I'm in love with like you know the jelly bracelets, the flat ones. Like they're flat and thin and round, but they're like, you know. I had a whole bunch of those on. I had my 2 scrunchies, and I had my mom's hoodie, and they took everything. And I was like, can I keep my bracelets and my scrunchie? And they were like, no, because you have blood on everything. And that's when I was like, well, how did I get blood on it? And they're like, and that's when they showed me, because the 2 ambulance ladies are the ones who took my things, and they took that. And they were like, yeah, because these 2. And then they were like, oh, and I was like, okay, fine. And I never saw the cuts. Like, I never actually physically saw them until, like, until later. So, basically, that passes. They took all my stuff. They threw it out. Sad. And I'm laying in bed, and everybody's just staring at me, talking to me, staring at me, talking to me, staring at me, staring at me, staring at me. I fell asleep. And I woke up to a nurse talking about something. Hey, I just want to look at your hand. And I'm like, okay, right? She stuck her little narrow fingers in my hand. Just thinking about it, I could feel it. It's so freaking angry. She's like digging, she's looking for glass. Digging, and digging. I was so mad. I started crying. First of all, I started kicking. And my grandma came and she held my leg. wait, no. My grandma came to comfort me. That's what happened. My mom was holding my top hat, so I would hold still. My grandma came to comfort me, and I almost kicked her in the face. And so she laid her so that she just laid out on my legs to make sure I couldn't kick. Because somebody would have got it. Because that lady was crazy. I just woke up and you were digging in my hand. Oh my God, I'm so mad. Like, I wish I could have sued that lady. So, let me keep eating. Then, she's like, okay, we're going to put you in a wheelchair and we're going to go do x-rays. And I'm like, I could walk. Again, like, y'all don't understand. I could walk. Like, my legs ain't broken. My hand is. Like, come on. Like, they're like, no, you have to send that thingy. So I'm like, okay. So they're wheeling me around. And I think my mom actually came with me on this one. And I'm so dumb. Why would I do that? That was dumb. My mom came with me. Nope, no more milk. My mom came with me. And I'm sorry. My mom came with me. And we're going. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. And the lady's like, can you, after digging in my hands, she's like, can you take your thumb and reach over here? Because she wanted to like know if my tendon was severed, right? And I'm looking at her, like, you don't get to ask me to do nothing. So then they're like, come on, do it. I'm like, I can't. Like, it feels like my thumb is right here, right? Meanwhile, I was doing this. Like, you had to, even doing it now bothers me. But you had to do it over here. It tingles. Ooh, but yeah, that's what I had to do. Ooh, my hand uncomfortable. But I'm thinking my fingers like right here. They're like, no, but and I'm like, I can't. And they're like, but you're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're good. And my mom's like totally grossed out because she just saw her daughter's tendon move. Like she literally saw how my thumb works. And so she's super creeped out. My grandma's like amazed at the fact. And then they did the x-rays. I had to hold my hand like this. Then I had to hold my hand like this. And I had to hold my hand like this. And it took x-rays. And the whole time, like, my hand's, like, numb. And it feels like blood's, like, just dripping out. Like, because, like, I was so uncomfortable. And then they rolled me back. Brought my hand back up. Rolled me back. And then I go, and I'm in the bed for a little bit, and we're just talking, and I'm hungry, and nobody's feeding me, and because they're not sure if I have to go into surgery yet, and they're doing all this talking like, we don't have a plastic surgeon here, so we don't. First of all, I was supposed to get a plastic surgeon so that you could not see the scar, because I did not want a scar. And they're like, yeah, especially if you get cadaver skin, we're going to make sure you have a plastic surgeon. I'm like, what's cadaver? And they're like, the skin of a dead person. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we're either going to do a skin graft or we could do cadaver skin. Most likely we'll do cadaver skin. And I'm just like, what? You want to put what? And make it a part of me? What? I was like super grossed and freaked out. So then they never did it. They just took my skin and like honestly just stretched it over to close it. And that worked pretty well. It's just now have a scar. So I guess. So then they were like, oh, we can't get the plastic surgeon, but we did get another surgeon. So they called him to the hospital. And I'm like, why isn't he already in the hospital? Like, why is he somewhere else and you gotta call him? Like, I was confused because I was like just tired of being there. Like, I'm hungry. Like, come on. Like, y'all playing games. I want to go to sleep so I can go to camp tomorrow. Like, meanwhile, I'm not going to camp tomorrow. So I'm sitting there waiting. The doctor finally arrives. And he's like, okay, here we go. Ooh. And this lady's like, because first of all, the doctor was a lady. And she goes, oh, look at that. I want to see that, right? So she's just looking at it, and she's like, I'm trying to figure out how many shots she got to give me and stuff like that, right? So I said, can I watch you give me stitches? Seriously, I said, can I watch you give me stitches? And she says yes. This is why I have trust issues, okay? Because she says yes. And then she goes, ow. I'll put this cover here and this cover here. And she goes all this stuff. And she gets ready to give me the shots. And first of all, these shots that she was giving me inside my hand, 18 shots. I'm gonna set up anemic of numbing. I was ready to fight this lady. Because first of all, she's not even letting me watch her give me the shots. So I'm already mad. Because they're like, my mom's like, turn over here. Don't. Why this lady stabbed me in my hand? I'm already hurt and I'm crying. And you're not even letting me watch? She put up like this curtain so that like it was over my hand, so like she could just see my hand. And then like then she put up something else that blocked me from being able to see. And I was mad. I was real mad. I was so mad because you digging. Some of the lady dug in my hand, then made me go take x-rays. I already had to lie about how I got here. And then I asked you to let me see your stitches. Like, let me see you give me my stitches. And you said no. I mean, you said yes and then didn't do it. So she gave me the shots. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to give you stitches now. She started stitches. First of all, them shots ain't work. I could still feel it. But I toughed it out because you was not going to stick another needle in my hand. You was not. And I refuse to let you. I refuse. No, I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen, baby. Try it on someone else. So I just felt whatever I need to feel and just let her work. But I sat there mad because you ain't let me see. Like, I just wanted to watch you give me stitches. I'm so mad. I was so mad. Because that's all I wanted. That's it. You could have made my night. And then, after she finishes the stitches, it's already like 12 o'clock at night. I got out of camp at 5. Like, no, I got out of camp at 3, actually. It's 12 something at night. I'm like, okay, you're done. Like, wrap my hand up. My hands are up. It gets recovered for a while. Then my mom takes me out, and as we're walking out of the hospital, guess who we see? In the waiting room, waiting to get a room, Journey Sword. Sis was sitting there, and her mom and her sister are like, oh, hey. And I'm like, hey. And they're like, why are you in a hospital? And I have to explain it. And I'm like, why are you in the hospital? And Journey's like laughing because like she knows it's her fault that I just had to endure all that. And it's like 12 o'clock at night. And I'm like, why are you here? And she's like, oh, allergies. Like, she had an allergic rash all over her body. And so I asked her later, I was like, did you know I was cut? Like, when things, she was like, yeah, a piece of glass with blood on it landed on her. Yeah. Because I thought it was that a piece of glass caught her and that's why she was there. But no. She was there for allergies. And I was like, funny how things change. And she was there, and it was funny. And then I go home. Like, I go get in the car. My mom puts me in the car. My mom left me in the car for what felt like forever. It was the point where I fell asleep. Like, because now I was in the car. Let's just say, like I said, we left there at 12. I was sitting in the car until 2 o'clock in the morning by myself. Like, at first I was trying to stay up because, like, we outside the hospital just parked. Doors unlocked. So I just locked the doors and I went to sleep. And that was that. My lips burned so bad. And that was that. That was that. And pretty much that's the end of the story. So after that, went home, never told my mom the truth until a few years ago. And then she was like, I knew the truth. She was like, I knew y'all was lying. She was like, I knew y'all was lying. I was like, well, then. And I think back then, that's when me and Journey were best friends. I'm not sure. Or like closer friends. But I'm not sure. I don't remember. But yep. That was that. That's how I got this scar, and that's how I got this trauma, and that's how I got these trust issues. And honestly, really what happened here was they didn't, like the 2 wrist ones, they didn't even give me like right here and right here, they didn't give me stitches. They put skin glue on this one because it was just like open. It was like my skin popped open. So they put skin glue on this one, and then they put a band-aid on this one. And it always confused me because they put skin glue on this one, but it healed like literally, like, look at that. Like, that scar is right here. That scar looks just like another line on my arm. Like, it looks just like this one. And that's a scar. Like, you know? So, that one here is so clean. And this one bubbled. How can I show you this? This one right here bubbled up, and you see it scarred. It actually has like the scar, like, you know, the smooth like skin thingy of like a scar. And all they do is put a band-aid on that one. But anyway, I enjoyed spicing the story up with you guys. I know I'm gonna have to boo-boo. I know my stomach's gonna hurt really bad. This is the damage I did. I only have like 1 more scoop or 2 more scoops in here of noodles. And I barely ate these because they were good, but like as time went, the sauce is thickening up, and also the sauce is like more sweet than spicy, and I don't like it. I don't like sweet and spicy. So that's truly that on that. I had fun telling you the story. I'm going over a long time to tell you the story. So I hope you enjoyed. This video is super long. I don't know how to make it shorter. So if you make it through the whole thing, God bless you. And if not, God bless you. You could just skip around and get keyboards. So goodbye now. Love ya. Toodles. Oh, let me know in the comments below how life is on your side of the screen, because life on my side is kind of broke, because I'm gonna go broke if I keep shopping like this. Anyway, guys, I love you. Take care of yourselves. Wear your mask. Stay healthy. Take your vitamins and your probiotics. And we'll be fine. And remember to stay smooth, because that's what we do. Because we smooth like butter and fluffy like a biscuit. Ow. Okay? So, see you around.